start this session, we are going to watch a little video about African observations. Now, if you are here because of the Financial Excellence and Technology free webinar. We'll watch a video and then I'll get someone to talk to you and tell you more about African observation. Today we'll be discussing why we need a financial plan for 2021. Not saying that we don't need a financial plan for any other year but 2021, but because we are in 2021, we'll have to look at this year and then hopefully everything that we learned and we pick up from here, we can apply to the other years to come. I'll be joined in Phillip Twum will join me in.
Hello, your computer
Prince,
has virus.
hello. So
October, ang peganyo ko surayan na ang tablad na tigaw po siya na medise. Arayani amata ko.
So Prince Dagadu would also join us. Animwaa Amo-Acheampong would speak. Marian, Rhoda, Akondor would also have something to say. So yes, would move in now to watch our video. Sorry about that. Our video coming in the next second. Thank you so much, Edward, for giving us this. Would ask Edward to say a little bit about what we just watched and talk to us a little about African observation. So, Edward Akani, if you are here, please go.
Hi, everyone. It's good to have you all join us today as we discuss financial planning. I think it's very important, especially considering how the COVID-19 affected a lot of people financially from last year. So before we delve into the topic for today, I just want to talk briefly about African observations. I don't know if you've ever had someone come up to you and say that I want to invest some money that I got and I really want to understand what investment opportunities are out there. Or maybe you go on Google and you're trying to find out the interest rates or the returns that are available for some investment products out there. And it's so difficult sometimes when you want to make some financial decisions because most of the information out there is not tailored to the Ghanaian context or the African context. So African Observations is more of a platform that is supposed to meet the needs of the Ghanaian or the African person. So basically the idea here is to build a platform for people that want to improve their financial IQ by way of getting information that is relevant financial information so that you can make informed decisions. So let's say that maybe you have some money, you want to know what mutual funds you can invest in or what fixed income you can invest in, and you go out there online, you try and search and you don't get what you really need. So African Observation is that platform that gives you the opportunity to be able to get the relevant financial information that you need, as well as advice. So African Observation is the platform that provides you with financial information, education, and advice. And this webinar is sort of building the context in terms of getting people to understand the need, as well as educating people with basic financial education. So as we join in the webinar and we hear from our panelists, what we want to really do is understand what it means or how to go by planning. And once the platform is ready, you'll be the first to experience what it affords. You'll be the first to experience the opportunity that it brings. That is to say that from wherever you are at the convenience of your home, you can visit the platform or get the app and get any financial information or advice that you need that is tailored to your needs. You don't have to go out online and then search for information, and what you get is more of the Western information, but something that is more relevant to the Ghanaian. So that is more of what African Observation is, to improve your financial IQ, to provide you with information that you need to make informed decisions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Edward Akani. I mean, this is a great thing to hear, that we can be able to know more about our finances even as we are here in Ghana. And we are grateful for your team and everyone involved in making this possible. Would move on to have our panelists introduce themselves. Um, every panelist is a co-host. You can just unmute yourself. We'll start with Animwaa, Amo-Acheampong. Can you kindly tell us about yourself a little bit? Then we just move on. Thank you.
Okay, hi everyone.
Would also be
Good
glad to see your
evening.
face. Yes.
Can you please see my face now? Okay, all right. So my name is Animwaa Amo-Acheampong, an associate member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, ICAG. I'm currently working with Ghana Tech Lab as a finance associate. So this evening, I'm looking forward to having a fruitful discussion with my co-panelists about the need for financial planning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Animwaa. We can also wait to learn from you. We'll move on to Phillip Twum. Phillip, can you kindly tell us about yourself?
Hi, can you see me?
Not yet.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Not yet.
Okay, but you can hear me, I guess.
Very clear.
Right. So my name is Philip. Can you hear me? Sorry.
Very clear. Yes, loud and clear.
And technology consultant. I currently work with KPMG, and I'm looking forward to an exciting discussion with all of you.
Also looking forward to an exciting one from all of you. We'll move on to Miriam Rhoda. Hello, Miriam.
Hi, everyone. My name is Marian Rhoda Akondor. I'm recently trained as a full stack developer. I did my master's in international business, and I'm looking forward to a very fruitful discussion on financial planning. Thank you.
Thank you too. We'll move on to Prince.
Yeah, hi, Prince.
Hello, Prince.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Prince Dagadu.
Yeah.
I work as an investment professional, as a fixed income trader, and I'm also a project management professional. So I do that amongst a few other things in communications and emceeing. That's pretty much what I do. I have a passion for helping people learn about financial literacy and empower themselves financially. So I'm very, very excited to be on this, and I'm sure I'll have a few things that I can share that people will find beneficial.
Thank you so much. So I'll be your host. I am a communication specialist. I'm part of the media and communication team for Ghana Tech Lab. I lead that team. I'm also the producer of Joy FM Tech Show called Geek Squad every Tuesday, 7 to 8 p.m. So you can join one of these days to learn more about tech. Yes. Okay. So we'll just move on to the business of the day. Financial literacy. I mean, when people talk about financial literacy, what is it all about? Let me just start with Philip. What does it mean? What does it mean to add finance to literacy?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, Philip here. So financial literacy in its simple terms is just to understand your finances and understanding a bit about the whole ecosystem. So it's not just about what's in your account, but then what you can do with what's in your account and how it could benefit you and your family or friends. Yeah, so that's financial literacy. Understanding, being able to take advantage of that to improve your life.
Well, I like the fact that you mentioned that our finances are supposed to not only benefit us, but our friends and our family. So to Animwaa, I mean, how do you manage your finances such that it benefits your friends and your family? Maybe you have so much things. Of course, we know people's wants and needs are always more than their income. How do you even think of managing and making sure that your friends, I mean your family, and then move on to even your friends to get some? How do you do that?
Okay, so first of all, it's important that you have a financial plan. So basically, you need a financial plan to be able to guide you on how to manage your finances. You can't just get up and say, I'm going to manage my finances without a plan. A plan is going to guide you so that you can effectively manage your finances very well. And then go along with also help the people around you, because once you have a plan, you know how you're going to use your money, and you know how you're going to use your finances effectively to help the people around you. Yes.
Wow. So now that financial plan has been mentioned, Marian, what is it when your finance colleagues say financial plan? What is a financial plan?
Okay, so in simple terms, a financial plan is a written document or a write-up of your goals and aspirations and how you want to go about getting it. And I believe that everything we do in life involves money one way or the other. I don't believe there's any free lunch or anything. And anything you want to achieve would
Yeah.
involve money. So when you have a plan, it should be a write-up of what you want to achieve, what you have. That is your salary or your sources of cash flow, where you are going to get income from, what you plan to do with it, how you are going to get there. So the financial plan is simply put a list of your goals and aspirations, how you want to get there, what you are planning to do to get those goals and things achieved. Yes.
Sorry about that. So talking about financial plan, I mean, everyone that has joined here, we want to see if some of us or even all of us are even having any financial plan, because we'll need that data to be able to know if we need to share with everyone a financial plan template that we can go by. So if you don't follow us, go to Twitter. It's our handle is AfriOps, AFRIOBS, and look out for AfriOps, and then tell us, do you have a financial plan? Do you have any plan that you go by when you receive any money or whatsoever? I'll move on to ask Prince. Now, if you need to have a financial plan, do you need any special skills? Is this not for people in the finance? Is it for everyone? Do you need any special skills?
Well, everybody needs money. Everybody spends money. So I think it's important that everybody learns to plan their finances, regardless of the area of your training. The good thing is that we have a lot of simplified tools that people, regardless of their background, are able to use, right? And as we continue this discussion, we'll share some insights on a few things that they should look out for. I mean, from what the earlier panelists have mentioned, you can essentially break it into two things. You know, when we talk about financial plan, people think of it in terms of a budget. And when it comes to budgeting, a lot of people tend to look at the expenditure side, how they are going to spend it, what they are going to use it for, and all the things they are going to buy, without exactly considering the bit about how the money is even going to come in before they spend. So it's good that you look at it from both sides of the coin. So there's the income side, and then there's the expenditure side. So with the income side, you are looking at your sources of money. If you are a salaried worker, you are looking at your salary. If you are a business person, you are looking at profits from your business. And note, for business people, especially self-employed entrepreneurs, I'm not talking about your revenue, I'm talking about your profits after you've taken out all the costs that you spent in running your business. So you are looking at the profit, what you can actually take from, not everything that people have bought, not your sales, right? If you are a student, I know we have quite a number of young people on this call. If you are a student, you could be looking at your allowances from your parents, or these days gifts are hard to come by, but if you are happy, you are lucky to have gifts coming your way, that could also be some form of income for you. So that's on the income side. Then on the expenditure side, you are looking at what you use the money for. As an investment person, I would always begin by saying that the first thing you should look at is to invest before you look at other forms of expenditure. So yes, I'm saying you invest before you eat. Yes, that's like the first thing. So there's a simple formula of going across that. So if you are looking at your expenditure being 100%, out of that 100, we are recommending that at least 20% of that is invested. Then the 50% goes into your core expenditure, like things you can't do without. So things like your feeding, things like your rent, health expenses, things you need to have, things you can't do without. Those will constitute about 50% of your income. And then the other 30% is for discretionary needs. I know we are in February and some of you are considering Valentine's gifts and all of that. That can be in that tail end of it. But then first thing is you invest, you look at your priorities, and then that's in your rent, feeding, stuff like that, and then saving. So it's like a 50-30-20 rule, where 50% is going to your core expenditure, 30% is going into discretionary, but that very important 20% goes into expenditure, into your investment, sorry. And as we go around, I'm sure I'll have the opportunity to expand further on that.
Great. That's insightful. I would like you to just hit on the percentages that you just spoke about. You said what? 50 what?
So 50-30-20, right?
50-30-20.
Yes. So 50%.
I say 50.
No, you save. So let's notice. Let's begin with the 20, because that's the first thing I recommend you do. So you are saving, or you are, and note, I'll emphasize investing beyond saving, because saving is just putting money aside. It could be under your pillow, it could be in the holder behind your house. But then I'm talking about putting it into some form of security or anything that will yield more returns for you. So 20% into investments, 50% into things you can't do without. Like, I mean, you have to eat. Man has to live at a certain place. So whether it's for your rent or any way by which you keep a roof above your head, things like that. If you are thinking in terms of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, these are the physiological needs that you cannot do without, right? And then there's a 30% which is more discretionary. So a Friday night out, things along those lines, right? Buying new clothes for yourself. And so this is beyond the clothes that you need. So this is not about covering your nakedness. This is more about fancy clothes, right? These are discretionary stuff that fall in the 30% I'm talking about.
Okay, great. Marian, many young people consider saving as a very difficult task, not because they are careless or whatever, but because their incomes are very little. And imagine you're a young guy, you've started, you have, let's say, 500 cedis or 800 cedis as your income every month, and you would have to save, you have to eat, and even pay light bill and all of those things. How do you manage the little that you have to even consider saving?
Well, you
Or
see,
investing, like Prince said.
So no matter how much you have, no matter how little or how a lot of money you have, it will be difficult for everybody to save, because once money comes into your hand, you will always find need. Like, you start remembering all the various expenses, all the things, family members from nowhere spring up to ask for money. So no matter how much you have, even if it's you get 500 cedis at the end of the month, expenses will come. If it's 1,000 cedis, expenses. So no matter how, I don't think the rich just sleep. They still find ways to make more money, which means it's not enough. So everybody is finding ways and means. So the main thing is discipline. If you don't discipline yourself to make sure that you're putting something away, trust me, you will spend it all. No matter how much. We will say that, oh, we are young, the money is not enough, but money is never enough. It's never enough. So it's discipline that we need to be able to put something, like, if we set maybe like a standing order to put monies away all the time, it's easier on you than you saying, okay, I want to keep this money in my account. Trust me, it will go away. it will go away. So we have to find ways and means of making sure that we are disciplined, putting something in that will make sure that the money is taken away. We don't have access to it so that we can easily spend it, because no matter how much you have, it will be difficult. So we need discipline. Yes.
Wow, money is not enough. All we need is discipline. Wow, I like that. Philip, so there was one time I was having a boys discussion with my friend, and I was just complaining about some of these things. I mean, my money is not enough for me. I mean, how can I even spend and do other stuff? And he said, I mean, while you think of using your personal income, you can also consider windfall. I mean, so I was wondering, what is windfall? I don't know if any of the people on this call have heard of that. What is windfall, and how can we exploit that to add up to our incomes?
All right. Thank you very much for the question. Yeah, I'd love to respond to that. So when we talk about a windfall, right? A windfall is income or an inflow that is not in your plan. Someone would like to say unexpected, right? So unexpected inflow. Okay. So I think it will be tragic for you to plan with windfall in mind. Okay, that okay, I earn like 3,000 Ghana cedis a month, but because the 3,000 is not enough, let's say I'm doing well, I'll save 1,000, and then my expenses will be 2,000. Then if I want to do like an investment, any windfall that comes, I'll use it for an investment. It means that you're most likely not going to make that investment. Okay, that's just a simple example. So with windfalls, you do not include a windfall in your budget. Now, what you can do with a windfall, which I would advise everyone, is to be very particular about it. Okay, so when you set your plan or your budget for the month, and unexpectedly you receive money from somewhere, so let's say you just get some 2,000 Ghana cedis. If you don't have a plan for that money, it will not do you any good. You will just spend it. Okay. So in your planning, you don't plan to spend a windfall, but when a windfall comes, it doesn't indicate the need to spend more money. Okay. So if, for instance, I work in a company, mid-year, my boss decides to give everyone 2,000 cedis just to support us, I mean, throughout the year. That 2,000 cedis is not an indication to spend more. It's not an indication to, I mean, bring your boys around and buy drinks for everyone, okay? So when you receive a windfall, the first thing you should be looking to do is to either invest it or to save it. Now, this is where you don't have pending needs that you need to address. I mean, things that because of your own discipline, you have put them for later. Like maybe there's a serious problem with your car and you feel like you can run it for a while before you fix it. Once the windfall comes, I won't judge you if you use that money to repair your car, okay? But if a windfall comes and you find it as reason to go out and spend money with the boys, then you're making a mistake. So a windfall is a very important part of our planning. Although we don't have it now, we need to have that in mind, that if we have an unexpected inflow of money, this and that is what we are going to do with it. And it will be good to write that down too. Thank you.
Great. This is just by the way, but I want Prince to answer this because he's a guy. Is joining the Stingy Men Association a way to save money?
Charlie, got you on the spot there. Well, I mean, let me, before answering this question, let me state unequivocally that I don't have anything to do with the association. I'm not a Cadbury member, and I'm not too sure why Prince decided to put me on the spot with this one. What I can say though is that you need to be clear what your priorities are, because your priorities will determine what you invest. Well, I see there's a member in the group, Darius, put in the chat that stingy men for life. Well, you and your members can continue. But what I can say though is that the key thing is to look at your priorities, to know what your priorities are. That's what will dictate what you channel your finances into. So let's say your priority is to have your own place, to move into your own apartment, or to build your own house, right? It will determine how you channel your savings and investments. If yours is to further your education, get a nice master's degree like Marian, Rhoda, I mean, of course, you can save nicely towards that. Or to become a chartered accountant like Animwaa and Phillip, and you want to save up towards your ACCA exams, fantastic. That is something you should do. So your priorities will determine that. I don't know anyone whose priority it is to be stingy, but maybe you can let Daryl, the guy who put his Darius, maybe you turn on his mic and say what he has to say about that. Yeah, but
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So it's all about your priorities. It's not about being stingy, right? Okay. So, anymore, sometimes you might have your plans in place and everything, what you want to do with your money, but all of a sudden, emergencies come. I mean, how do you deal with emergencies? How do you get through it?
Okay. So I'll say that emergencies are bound to happen, and as we all know, emergencies are unexpected events. So you can be there, then something will happen, and you need to spend on that. So as part of your financial planning, what you can do is that you can have a budget line for emergency funds, whereby when you get your salary or from any source of your income, you can put an amount of money in there for the emergency fund, so that when these unexpected situations occur, you can tap into them, and then you can fall on them, and then you can use them. Because unexpected events or emergencies can really cause serious consequences. Just imagine you've not planned for any repairs in your home, and all of a sudden you have a ceiling leaking. You have to find money to do that. And let's say in the middle of the month you've not been paid. What do you do? So once it's part of your plans that, okay, every month I'm taking some amount of money into my emergency fund, then I believe that when these things happen, you can also fall on them. And also, we need to prioritize our spending. Sometimes we don't have the time to have budgeted for the emergency fund. So when it happens, you now need to prioritize your spending. Initially, you were spending on one or two or three things. You need to cut down on the expenses. Let's say you were taking an Uber to work and then back home. When that thing happens, when that emergency occurs, because you have to resolve that emergency, you have to now prioritize on your expenses. Which ones are important? Which ones can I cut off? Then let's say with a transaction like this, you can decide to, let's say, go to work with an Uber, and then later when you're coming back home, you can find maybe a cheaper means of coming back home. I think that helps. So when it comes to emergencies, as part of our planning, we can put as money aside for our emergency funds, so that when these things happen, we can fall on them. Let's say you didn't plan for that and it just happens. Then we can now look at how we can order our financial life by prioritizing our expenses so that it doesn't affect us severely. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you. So if you joined not long ago, there's a financial excellence and technology webinar. It's a free webinar. It's the first of every month webinar that we'll be doing, talking about finances and how we can go about the incomes that come to us. Today we are talking about why you need a financial plan for 2021. And joining us is Animwaa Amo-Acheampong, we have Phillip Twum, we have Marian, Rhoda, and then we have Prince Dagadu here. So we'll move on. If you have any question, you can just type it and then I'll just put it to our panelists to just give us answers to. But if you are here also, we are on social media, Facebook, African Observation, LinkedIn, African Observation. And when you go to TikTok, AfriObs, AFRIOBS, and then Twitter, AfriObs, AFRIOBS. On Twitter, we are asking you, do you have a financial plan? The next question we'll be talking about is, how do you draw a financial plan? Now, people will tell you, I mean, finance people would say so many things, get an Excel sheet, do this, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes it's just too difficult. While we learn about how to draw it, we are also ready to share with you a template that you can easily use. So tell us, do you have a financial plan? Just tell us on the poll that we have on Twitter. I'll move on to Marian. Marian, and this question, I'll just put it to every panelist so that everyone can give their input. How do you draw a financial plan? We want it in a very simple way that, I mean, we are not balancing any sheets, we are doing nothing. And even if we don't know how to use Excel or whatever, how do we do it?
Okay, so to simplify it the most, first you have to assess your sources of income or cash flow. So wherever you think you'll be getting money, if it's your salary or maybe some side business, or I don't want to say gifts because that's like a windfall. It's unexpected. You don't know if it's coming in or not. So it's usually the ones you are sure of, like your salary and all those things. So once you assess those, then you check your spending. So you have to gather data on yourself and assess how you spend. For me, it's easy to track my spending because I don't really like carrying cash. I usually use mobile money for most of my transactions and things because I can have a history of what I'm using it for. So I use mobile money to buy data, to buy credit, to pay for Uber, to pay for most things because I think it's easier. At first, I used to think I have a supersonic brain, so I could remember almost everything, but we are growing old, so we can't always keep everything in mind. But once you have a means of tracking, so once I use mobile money to buy data, I can see how much I'm spending on data. I can see how much I'm spending on Uber. I can see how much I'm transferring to family and friends and things. When you're able to track that, you can streamline what you are giving out. I'll say that, okay, I buy data every 3 days and this. So like I have to check my spending so that I can reduce it and use it for this period and buy maybe every week or something. Once you're able to see what you are using your money for, it's easier to draw a plan to see where to allocate money to and how you can apportion it in a way where you can get enough to save, to invest, and for other things like your emergency fund and all those things. So it's quite important to assess what you are using your monies for. Then you have to list your plans, what you actually want to achieve. Maybe it's a short-term plan or it's a long-term plan. Maybe you want to get married in the next 4 years or 3 years. Everything involves money. You want to go to school. So all your goals, whatever you want to achieve and how you are going to achieve them. So the little that you have, these are your goals. What do I have to do to get this done? So maybe I need to start doing some small side hustle to add up to achieve my goals, or maybe I have to save up. I have to check the way I spread my friends or spread my family members or those things, cut out on certain things. So once you are able to list out the things you want to do, check what you are actually spending on, and then you can apportion what you want to put your monies into in that order. Usually once in a these days, gifts are very difficult to come by. So like a windfall is unexpected. So that one there, as Prince said, you invest before you eat. So once those kind of monies come in, you don't have to account for it in your plan at that moment because you don't know if it is coming or not. So those ones, when it comes, please invest before you see where you can put other things, because it's once in a lifetime. You don't know if it will ever come back. But so it's important that you check where your monies are coming from, check what you are spending on, write out what you want to use those monies for, how you are going to achieve those things. So that's as simple as it gets. Yes. And it's I saw that one person had asked if you can keep it in your head. Charlie, I used to do that. Like I as I said earlier, I thought I had a supersonic brain. I used to keep everything in mind, all the things that I plan to do. I check it in my mind, but it becomes difficult to track your progress when you are doing that. You are not really accountable to yourself when you do that. When it's in your mind, you skip certain things, but when it's written down, you're able.
Hello, I think we've lost Marian. Hello. Okay, so we'll move on while she reconnect or reposition herself. So basically, Marian was also saying that you need to know your income, and then you need to know your goal, and then you match them up. Prince, what is your take on how do you draw a financial plan?
All right, thanks, Prince. She started very well with what she should do. I think she looked at the income side and then the expenditure side, right? And I want to touch on the income side because it's very important. As finance people, a lot of times, sometimes we've been criticized for emphasizing restriction instead of seeing how people can expand on their finances. So we are always talking about what people should cut out of their finances to be able to get by. But then a very important aspect of this is also to see how we can increase the impact, the income side of things, right? So I just want to focus on that, and I think the other speakers can touch on the other sides as well. So yes, fundamentally what a lot of people know about is the salary. Okay, so you are a salaried worker, you are earning something. So now the question you ask yourself is, how can I get more out of my salary? So for instance, do I have to take extra courses? Do I have to what can I do to improve on my value so I can say renegotiate my salary or maybe move on to a better paying job, right? That is a way of expanding on the salary side of income. Rhoda mentioned added income as well. So yes, that is very key. In fact, if there's anything 2020 taught us, is the fact that one source of income is never enough. People had jobs today and the next day they were out of jobs. People were not sacked, but then they were not receiving their salaries as they were. We saw people take salary cuts, some even go months without being paid. If that doesn't tell you to find another source of income, then nothing will. We can have this webinar for the next how many hours, and there's nothing that I can tell you. But look, think about it. There's something that you do better than most other people. There's something that your friends and your family commend you for, that you can develop and make a business. So personally, it's been speaking for me, and out of feedback from my friends back in school, I took up MCing. So I'm a professional MC on the side as well. So Monday to Friday, we are looking at investments, Excel sheets and what have you, trading bonds and stuff like that. On the weekend, I put on my kaftan, hold a mic, and go and MC a program and get paid for it. Because look, the day the company says, yes, COVID has hit our finances and we cannot pay, well, after a few hours, my stomach will make me know I'm still hungry and I have to eat. I have to find another source of money to make sure I can take care of. And man's got needs. Man has got things that have to be paid for, right? So you find ways of getting that done. These days, and another important thing about this is the emphasis on technology. And you're a technology person yourself, so I'm sure you will appreciate this too. There are traditionally, we've known our markets to be the people, we are family and friends and people around us. But these days, there are freelance sites like freelancer.com, where whether you are a graphic designer, you are whatever it is you do, you can just go on freelance sites like that, identify opportunities. People are putting up jobs, gigs that you can do and get paid for. And right here in wherever it is you live, Latebi or Koshi, you can be doing jobs for people in Moscow, in New York, in London, in Paris, and getting paid for it, right? I see, yes, Daniel. Oh, good to see you. I know Daniel from out of this place. Daniel is also an MC. So good to know people are doing other things on the side that they are earning money. It's very, very key that you have other things. So you have to get other things on the side that you can make money. We can't emphasize it enough, right? You can't emphasize it enough.
Yeah. I think you
Yeah.
I think you answered Mark Bayfie's question when he was asking what other streams of income. I mean, how can you find other streams
and it's not
of
even
income? So I
limited
think
to
that
these
even
things.
answers that.
Yeah, it's not even just limited to this.
Yeah.
These days we have the opportunity of being blessed with social media. For you, maybe you are a good singer.
Yeah.
Yes, that is one thing I am not. But maybe you are a good singer and you have the benefit of Instagram or of YouTube. You can video yourself singing. You have TikTok and put your talent out there. There's Twitter. Put your talent, put videos of yourself singing out there. The next thing you know, people are inviting you to functions to sing and get paid for.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the things around us that we should look at to expand on our sources of income. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, Philip, now let's say I have a financial plan. I mean, how do I make sure that I follow the plan? Because having a plan alone is not enough. I need to go by it. How do I effectively go by these plans that I have?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that question. So I want to say a few things before. So a financial plan, I look at it as essentially a life plan, right? It's your goals you set, and you are looking at how your incomes and your current situation could lead you to those goals. So it's essentially a life plan, right? We set the plan and executing it becomes difficult or becomes a challenge. But there are several ways to go around it. The first thing that I would recommend is to write down the risks to, reaching that goal or successfully following it. Okay. Write them down. Like, let's know what exactly are the threats to this plan that you set out. Okay. And with them written down, it gives you a clear view of what you are supposed to be particular about. Another thing you need to do is to aim to keep your expenses fixed, right? Prince has spoken about increasing your revenues, but if you are living on, say, you are living on spending 1,000 a month, right? The fact that you have a job that, you have double your salary or triple your salary, it doesn't mean that you should begin to increase your expenses as well. You were not dying when you were living on that 1,000. Okay. So another key thing is to keep your expenses fixed. So you have exactly all the things that are a risk to you reaching it. You have them clearly written out, and then you can be careful about them. And then, of course, you begin to find a balance between your expenses and your revenue. Okay, so once you have the balance of your expenses, you are not dying with what you are spending. Just try to maintain it. There's no need to. You're not impressing anyone. Sometimes, unfortunately, the people we try to impress, if you go deeper, you find that they are even earning more than you. But you are trying to show them, the latest phone, the latest this, the latest that, and you find that actually people who are very wise with their finances, they are not very flashy. So you may be trying to impress people, but you are just the joke is on you. The joke is on you. Yeah. So to stick to your financial plan, write out the risks and be clear about them, and then try to keep your finances fixed. Sorry, your expenses fixed. Once you have a good balance. I don't mean you should be starving yourself. Where you are in a good place and there's nothing wrong with your living situation, try and keep it fixed, and it will be good for you.
Yeah. Kama Man says that, I mean, you should also be looking for discounts and promos so that you can reduce some of your
Yeah,
costs.
that's a
And I
hard
think
life.
that one too, yeah. Okay, time is far gone. I think we just have a minute to go. I mean, we've had questions, and some of these questions are things that we'll have to really delve into very deep. Some like what are the good investment opportunities out there? What things can you invest in? Would have, like I said, we'll have monthly webinars, and some of these things will just answer them and delve into it very deeply. But before we go, I want to ask Animwaa and Marian, Animwaa first. What are the benefits before anyone leaves here? What would you say they should put at the back of their mind that should prompt them to know that they really do need a financial plan? As it stands, 4 people are just telling us that they need a financial plan, and we are just going to help them with it. So if you are here, you really need a financial plan, please go to our Twitter page, let us know, and we'll get it to you. Animwaa?
Okay, so Prince, having a financial plan helps you to evaluate your current financial situation or condition. When Miriam was giving us the steps in drawing a financial plan, she said that you need to assess your cash flows. I mean, what you are earning and then what you are spending on. So with a financial plan, you get to know your current financial state. Okay, so I'm getting this through these means of or these sorts of income, and I'm spending on these things. So this financial plan will guide you as whether to cut down on some expenses or whether to try and then do more or like engage in a side hustle so that you can be able to keep up with the financial goals that you have. She also mentioned that it's important that you set financial goals. And these goals can be short-term, medium-term, long-term. So with a financial plan, it helps you to achieve all these goals. So if you have a plan and you are seeing yourself in the next 2 years, 3 years, you want to get your own car, you want to rent, you want to buy a house or something, with a plan, it helps you to achieve these goals because you know how much you're earning, you know how much is going into your expenses, you know how much you are saving, you know where you are saving and all that. So it helps you to achieve these financial goals. So it's important that as individuals, we all keep financial plans so that one, we can know our current financial situation and condition, then it will help us to prioritize our spending and expenditure. Then also these plans can also help us to achieve our financial goals. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. Marian, your take.
Okay. I think it's also very vital because it helps you to track your success. I think it's important and it leads to success because once you are seeing what you are doing, as you are achieving them, you are taking it off. It's like you are getting things done on your bucket list. So you know it's kind of a motivation. So I think it's important to have that because you're able to see where you are going, what you have done so far, and if you need to make any changes. And I think it's something that is good to be able to live for something. At least you look forward to something each and every day. It helps you, the individual yourself, to see that you're achieving something in life, to feel successful. You don't have to be Dangote or a rich person to feel successful. Once you've done something and you have a plan, you're achieving it, you are taking things off your list, you will see the growth. It's important to motivate ourselves to be successful. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, let me chime in here, Philip here. So,
Yeah,
you
Philip.
know, I think a financial plan is very important because it makes you wise. It makes you wise. And I'll give you a very practical example. So here's a young man who starts working. Fortunately for him, he came out of university and got a job. And he was paid like 2,000 or 3,000 cedis a month. Okay. Now this young man doesn't have a financial plan. So he thinks he's the wealthiest guy. He's the wealthiest young man in town. And he just spends his money. 3,000 is good money to spend in a month. Everything. Okay. Now take another guy. Maybe he got a job. he got a job. He was even paid 4,000. Now this guy is being paid more than the other guy. But with his 4,000, he has a financial plan. In 5 years, he wants to be married. In 5 years, he wants to have a car. In 5 years, he wants to be renting a certain kind of apartment. In 5 years, he wants to be driving a good car, right? Now, when he looks at the prices of those things and he puts them down, in 5 years' time, he knows that his 4,000 will not get him there. And this guy begins to plan his money wisely. Okay, so the moment you have a plan and you know what you're receiving and you know the expenses you need to bear in a month and everything, you begin to plan wisely, and it will inform a lot of things. One, it will motivate you to get a side hustle because already you know that you're not in a good position. Secondly, I mean, it will motivate you to keep your expenses in check. I mean, you don't seek to be flashy unnecessarily. And I mean, the list goes on. So having a financial plan really, really helps people. If you're a Christian like myself, it will help you understand that you need to put a lot of faith in God and trust Him for better things, better than the current salary you're earning, which someone thinks it's so much. Okay, so a financial plan is critical for all of us.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Marian, your last words, Prince and Animwaa. So let's start with Marian. Let's keep it short.
Okay, so I would like to encourage everyone to try their best to get one. It doesn't have to be an elaborate something or with all those technical terms and all those things. Just start by assessing what you have, what you are spending on, what you plan to do. You note it down and get ways and means of how to apportion the money. And stuff. It doesn't have to, you don't need to be a finance person or anything to do that. You don't need a special skill. I think the special skill you need is discipline to be able to put the money away and to ensure that you are going by it. So it's quite important. I think all those who are rich didn't start off like just, some people were inheriting riches, but those who built from their scratch, I think they had a plan. They had something they wanted to achieve and they worked towards it. And a financial plan will help us to achieve those. Everyone should try and put something. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prince.
All right, so a quick addition to what has been said. I think it's important that we have accountability partners. So this is somebody you respect. It could be a friend, it could be an elderly person in your family, it could be a mentor, and I recommend mentors who you look up to. I mean, let the person know that this is how I intend to spend my money. And at the end of the month, I can just touch base with you to say, okay, I plan that this month I'm going to invest 1,000 cedis. This is the receipt showing that I put this amount of money in this mutual fund or in this investment. And when you do that consistently, you notice that there's a check on you. So aside what you are writing, which is a good way, it's a good terminal report of your finances, you also have somebody you respect, somebody who would call you and ask you questions about your finances, and you would be glad the difference that will make in your finances. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You need to get somebody to be a check on you. Animwaa, your last words.
Okay, so what I'll say is that I'm just going to throw a challenge to everyone here to start with a financial plan. We are now in February, so give yourself from now so December what you expect, then come up with a plan and see, and then you are going to achieve all the things in them. It's not going to be a long term. Let it be very simple, very short. And then you'll be surprised at the success you are going to make. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Philip, your last words.
Go on Twitter and find a financial plan.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Sorry we took 10 more minutes of your time, but I think it was worth it. Join us next month to talk more about finances. If you haven't followed us yet, please follow us. Facebook African Observations, LinkedIn African Observations, AfriOps on Twitter, and AfriOps on TikTok. Thank you so much, and have a good evening, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much. Okay.
Thank you too.